How Genghis Khan's daughters made him the most powerful ruler in history. Did you know that Genghis Khan's daughters played a crucial role in making him the most powerful ruler in history? We've all heard the stories of Genghis Khan's military genius, his savage conquests, and the rise of his empire. But few realize the profound influence his daughters had over his empire's success. Make sure you watch till the end to discover how these warrior princesses controlled entire kingdoms, maintained peace, and outmaneuvered enemies. You'll be surprised at what they accomplished behind the scenes. Genghis Khan ruled with a sharp mind, but he knew that ruling an empire wasn't just about conquering new lands. It was about securing and maintaining control over them. He didn't just want territories, he wanted a legacy. He understood that men of war could conquer, but it was the women who could sustain empires. That's where his daughters came in. Genghis Khan strategically placed his daughters, not his sons, at the helm of conquered regions. They weren't just consorts, they were governors, diplomats, and warriors. Genghis Khan was ahead of his time. While his sons were busy fighting wars, his daughters were learning the complex art of governance, diplomacy, and the subtle skill of empire building. His trust in them would become the foundation of his empire's lasting influence across the world. Let's start with one of Genghis Khan's most capable daughters, Alakai Beki. When Genghis Khan's army conquered new lands, he would strategically marry his daughters off to powerful rulers. It wasn't just about alliances, it was about control. Alakai Beki was married to a defeated enemy leader, and when he died, she didn't just step aside. Instead, she took the reins of power. She ruled the land with the same ferocity her father would have. By controlling key regions and using her marriage ties, she ensured the loyalty of neighboring kingdoms to the Mongol Empire. This wasn't just a political strategy, it was an empire-building masterpiece. Her influence spread far beyond what most people know, and it all started with her father's unique vision. But it wasn't just battlefield victories where the daughters shone. Turagain Khatun, another of Genghis Khan's daughters, played an entirely different game. When her husband, the Great Khan, passed away, the Mongol Empire could have crumbled. Instead, Turagain took full control, assuming the role of a regent for her young son, Genghis Khan. She didn't just maintain power, she expanded the Mongol Empire's reach even further. Turagain's political brilliance was unmatched. Through masterful diplomacy and cunning negotiations, she kept her father's empire unified while negotiating with rival states, all while ensuring that Genghis Khan's legacy continued through her son. Her ability to play multiple factions against one another was what kept the empire stable in an unstable world. But it wasn't just diplomacy where Genghis Khan's daughters excelled. Some, like Sorghaghtani Beki, were masters of war. She was married to a prominent Mongol leader, and after his death, took charge of his vast territories in the north. What set her apart was not only her leadership, but her military acumen. She was feared by her enemies and revered by her allies. She didn't just command armies. She built alliances through marriage, led men in battle, and maintained control over one of the largest regions in the Mongol Empire. Her strategies were as ruthless as her father's, making her one of the most feared women in the empire. However, not all stories have happy endings. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire faced a major shift. His daughters, once pillars of strength, were pushed aside as the sons and grandsons of Genghis Khan struggled for power. The empire Genghis Khan built began to fracture as wars between his heirs weakened the foundation he had so carefully constructed. As Genghis Khan's descendants fought over the throne, the once mighty empire began to disintegrate. The daughters who once ruled with strength and wisdom found themselves overshadowed by the bickering of their male counterparts. The legacy they worked so hard to build seemed on the verge of collapse. Today, history often remembers Genghis Khan as a fierce conqueror, but the story of his daughters is one that has largely been forgotten. They were the architects of his empire's success, governing, fighting, and ensuring that his empire remained strong, even in the face of adversity. Their efforts helped Genghis Khan build an empire that spanned almost a quarter of the world's land area, from the Mongolian steppes to the Middle East, China, and Eastern Europe. Their political genius, military prowess, and diplomatic acumen were just as important to the Mongol Empire's success as their father's ferocity on the battlefield.